So in this video, we're going to answer a few questions for assignment 8. That is how to how to actually use NumPy to NumPy and Matplotlib to plot the data and get some results. For example, we're going to read the data into a NumPy array, and then we're going to plot the histogram for the first time point, and then plot histogram for the last time point, and plot the histogram of the average expression values for the gene across all the time points, plot the average expression, which basically are gene expressions at each time point as a line graph, and plot two series of average expression values. So one is for the first value, it's a positive. The other one is for all the genes with the first value negative. So let's answer this one. Let's do it one by one. So the first step is read the data into NumPy array. So what we're going to do is we're going to just import NumPy as NP, and then we're going to read the data. So the data is in my folder is actually in here. In this folder, I can show you. Yeah, in my folder is it's under data, and then I have this S data, or S data is basically same as the Spellman. So if you have the Spellman, you can copy that one too. You can use that one, the Spellman. Like in here we have Spellman. You can use this one to the data. Either one is fine. Spellman is basically is the gene expression. It's an open data that everybody can use. So you definitely can use either one of those. So you can use data or Spellman sdata.csv. And here we said that we want to make it as string, because there are some values are relatively small, like those are big and then those are small values. So if you read as a default, it may translate as an integer. Therefore, those will become super small. They will be overlooked. So, however, we want to do make it all of them as str. Then we can convert them to a proper floating number, and the delimiter is going to be the comma. So those will be the comma, and then you can find it will be correctly separated. So this str data will print it out like this. It's like an array. So this is then like another array, but it's actually it's like it's lumpy, right? So each of those is actually a list. Inside those is a list. So this is actually, I don't know how many, what's the dimension, but it's going to be super big dimension. And let's plot the first time point for this expression value. What we're going to do is we'll first find where is the first value, right? To do that, we have to get rid of this header, and then we're going to take out those columns, because those are gene expression, those are gene names, and then those are actually the actual value for the gene expression. So here's what I will do. So we will first take out the header by just taking the str data. So we starting from the zero row, the row 0, and the columns we don't start from 0, because this is actually a name, so we don't want to include that. Those are actually the values, so we're starting from 1. So 0, 1, 2, right? So we're starting from 1 to all the way to the end. So that's how do we use. And then here we said as type as np.int. That's for the header part. That's for the header part. So we actually doing this is a 1, then 2, 0, 1, 2. So those will be converted to integer. And then for genes, we do the str data from 1 to all the way end. From row 1, so this is row 1, this is row 0, and then we from row 1 to all the way end, and then here is just a 0. So the first one, that will be our gene, and the values will be actually from the second to all the way end. So from all the way end, that will be saved in values. So values will definitely be a list as well. So you can actually print out all those values. You can see how they are looking. Actually, values will be a NumPy 2, NumPy. And so that's basically, we have all those information now. And now it's going to be much easier. We are going to, for the values, so basically are all these ones, right? All these ones we're retrieving from the row 0, and we only are interested about those values. So that's our first time. This is time. This is the first time. So we're gonna get all the first time values. That will be from row 1 to the end of the row. So from row 0, from row 0 to the end of the rows, and only the 0 columns. So that will be this guys, right? This guys will be saved as the first. You can actually print out the first, and you're gonna see the first is actually exactly what we're looking for. So those two, the last one will be 0.405. So once we have those first value, then we can plot it. Plotting is relatively easy. We can simply just import the matplotlib, and then pyplot, and then as a plt. That's again, it's a convention. Everybody is using plt for plot. Plot.histogram.hist, and then the value first. And here you can put the time as 40, and then those are the points, and then you get the value. So this is the answer for the first one. So once we have the answer for the first one, for the second one is relatively easy, right? It says for the last one, so basically you're going to retrieve those, right? And the same thing, we're going to starting from row 0 in values to the end of the rows, and then we're going to retrieve just the -1. So it's reversely retrieving that, right? Reversely retrieve that. So that will be the last. And then we can plot that, and this is actually not 40 anymore. It should be 260. So there's arrow. So this should be 260. Yeah, 260, and then I run it again. Oh, because I didn't run all of those, so that's why I may have problems. So what I will do is I will clear out all the inputs. I'll run this, and then run this one. Then I can directly run this one, because there's a sequence, right? Then I can plot this now. Oh, the plot is not defined. We have to plot this first. Yeah, then I will plot this, then we'll plot the values last, and here is the plot the histogram. Earlier it's complaining this PLT is not executing, so I have to go back here and run this piece of code to import it, and then to do that. So it's better just run from top to the end in sequence. And next one is plot the histogram of the average expression value for the gene across all time points. because NP is actually has the math function for mean, so I can just plot just to get the values of so it's across all time points. The time points are actually the columns, right? The columns. So what I need to do is just get this 0. If it's 10 across all the rows, then we have to be 1. So therefore we get the average rows. So that will give us all the genes and the average points. So that will be the value. So that will be the value. Same thing, it's asked across all the time points. So you just change the x to 1. That will be all times and the average value. This should be all across all genes. Yes, this is all time. This is all gene. Yep. And the last one is actually plot two series of average expression. One for all gene where the first value is positive, and the other one is for the first one is negative. To do this, we're going to use the Boolean, the bool filter for NumPy. What you need to do is just find the very first value and then compare with 0. So that will give you all the positive, and do the same thing for the negative. You get the negative, and then you can plot them together. You can get the mean value. So it does ask you give the average expression. So you just get the average 1 or 2, and then you can 1, 2 and labels as positive, negative. Again, this is a histogram. You can show the legend, and then you will get the values, right? And so that will be the answer. That's it. That's all for the assignment 8.